begging, 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 begging for more pain. Got me begging, 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 begging for more pain. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Bulls Radio Lounge. Thank you for joining us. Gut Check Live with Belly. I am Belly, and I'm here with Bull. Hey, Bull, how you doing?
Pissed off.
Pissed off. What's going on, buddy?
Well, this whole thing just went to shit.
Just
Totally went to shit. Like, I'm so mad about this whole thing that I don't know.
we'll power through it, man. We always do.
Don't even want to do it anymore.
Don't want to do it? You want to quit?
No, don't want to quit.
No quitting. Okay. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube.com. We're also on Facebook Live and on Twitch. Bull, what's that Twitch handle?
Bulls Radio Lounge.
Bulls Radio Lounge on Twitch as well. And if you want to give us a call, 813-419-3602. We do want to hear your opinions. We got a pretty good show here scheduled for you today. We're going to be talking about NASCAR banning the Confederate flag and the Confederate flag in general. Some All Lives Matter people are protesting the George Floyd protest themselves. Trump is up to his conspiracy theories. And my favorite topic that I'm looking forward to today, the outrage of some people that are thinking that people are seriously wanting to cancel the kids' TV show Paw Patrol.
Is that because the dog is a police cop or something like that?
Twitter trolls, they start and,
A bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense. And the trolls won that day because they made it on the news.
They make it on the news, but they probably won't actually do it.
No, they're not going to do it. Nickelodeon renewed it. But I want to get into the things that people hold on to and the social media outrage over it. And Paw Patrol's the latest thing that I saw and caused a lot of belly laughs. Pardon the pun.
I do have to tell you, gotta thank you for saving the show.
Oh, no problem.
Because you sort of, we had an issue with basically the power cord, right?
Yeah.
And the power cord broke, and I didn't know if I had to do it old school, but then luckily you were able to go venture out into another store, right? And pick up. Basically, we're running off battery power.
Yep, backup battery power tonight. So if we go out It could be that, or there's a bad thunderstorm going outside,
Yeah.
and we might be headed to the land of Oz. You never know.
And then I had a nice intro for you, all made up and all.
It was nice. I actually,
but
saw
apparently
that.
I didn't get audio for it. I don't even know if it's. I don't know why it wasn't playing before.
yeah,
I don't know.
shit happens, bro. It just happens. Whatever. We're gonna power through it. We're gonna have a good show. Once again, we want to hear your opinions. No opinion is wrong on this show. 813-419-3602. And I do want to thank Bull for giving me the opportunity to have this show, and also at the same time coming up with that great intro that you'll hear in a couple weeks, because we're going to be off next week due to Father's Day. All the daddies out there. And my main man Bull here is going to be out of town.
I'll be out of town on vacation.
He'll be doing bullshit.
Bullshit.
So we got a jam-packed show for you today. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you in the chat. We
By
just
the
want to
way,
hear from you in general.
Good job on the numbers last week.
Oh, thanks, man.
You, out of all the shows that I've done with this channel, not including but limited to, the Bull and the Bartender show.
Yep.
Which is sort of the main show on this channel, but also, from the Joel Winecoop show, the Bullshitter show. What was the other one?
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Yep.
This show has, for its premiere show, right, the very first pilot show.
Yeah.
I think it was 84 views.
Nice. That's not me. That's the listeners, and we want to thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, engaging with us. We appreciate it. We just want to bring you some good content, have good conversations, maybe some laughs, and do the damn thing.
Well, I mean, that does come from you because you're,
Well, I'm trying to be humble here, man.
Listen, it's all
I
about
can't drop
you.
the mic. I'm on the air right now.
You just
Can't
did.
do that.
You just did.
Thanks.
You dropped the mic.
Yeah, do what I can.
It's all right. It's your show.
Thanks, man.
You do. Listen, I wanted to gear this show, even though it's very political and very, the way you want it to become. This is your show. This is your sort of your creation of what you want.
Yeah.
So along the other shows that I do, I want to. I sort of have sort of a production hand in a lot of this stuff, but you sort of just come up with the outline, what you're going to talk about, everything that you want to do. You do it in a very well way, and I've never had that before.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's not going to be always political. Everyone's stuck at home now, and it's not like it was. This is the new normal, and these are just the top stories that are going on right now. I do want to talk about some crazy off-the-wall stuff. We'll eventually get into that. But I just want to talk about what's going on right now, what people feel and
Crazy
think about
times.
it. Crazy times, 2020. I wish this shit was over already. I'm just waiting for the murder hornets to attack.
Yeah.
Zombies.
Which
Stay
is not
Puft
true
Marshmallow
either.
Man.
The murder hornets,
Wait, what about them?
they're not true.
What do you mean they're not true?
They're not fluctuating like people say.
No, I think they found one in Washington, and then it became a
people
thing.
They had a fit.
But those
with
things
them.
are fucking huge. Have you seen one?
They are, yes. They
They're-
are really huge. Like, I've never seen I've seen them before, like on YouTube and whatever, but I've never seen one in person.
Well, me and my youngin', we watch YouTube a lot, and we're watching Coyote Peterson now. He's this guy that gets stung by all these different insects.
You think he's
and animals.
crazy enough?
He's crazy as shit. Well, I'm allergic to stings, so yes, of course, the germaphobe's allergic to stings. But he gets stung by these things willingly, and he has no reactions to them. But some of the stuff, it's crazy.
I think he does it because that way he can show, what it's like to be stung by something like that.
Yeah. He got stung by one thing called the executioner wasp.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And it made necrotic his arm skin go necrotic. He had a big divot and a hole in his arm. I was like, that's crazy.
He's a crazy guy.
Yeah.
What do you expect? You're getting 1,001 views on your channel.
Probably way more than that.
Well, he's probably getting a whole bunch of views.
Yeah, but hey, it's helping my little one learn about nature and
Would you do that?
Hell no, I wouldn't do that.
Why?
I'm allergic to shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm allergic to bees, so
okay.
If an executioner wasp got me, I'd probably just drop right dead as soon as it happened.
Do you break out? Is
Hives. I have an EpiPen.
What do you look like?
I break up out in the hives, and you get swollen a little bit. It's been a while since that actually happened.
Right.
Knock on wood. But it's pretty scary. I've had to go to the hospital a couple
Really?
times. Yeah, I shoot myself with the EpiPen and go to the hospital. get some steroids.
I kind of look like a blueberry when I get stung by them.
Oh yeah,
I swell up,
your lips get all swollen.
Yeah, it's not a fun time.
No,
I hate it. I mean, it feels like a baseball just hit you.
Oh, I bet.
Or like a baseball bat just hit you.
Yeah.
You know?
One time, the scariest thing, I was actually going to a barbershop on my little one, and a wasp got me right on the neck.
Oh,
and he
man,
started to freak out.
Yeah.
So I had to keep calm myself and calm him down and drive home and call Madam Belly and be like, hey, I need you to get this ready, and this ready for me and handle it. And he's like, Daddy, don't die on me. I'm like, just please don't start that.
I'm coming in hot.
Yeah.
I'm
like, I'm pulling into the driveway and I'm stopping and I'm getting out the car before it stops.
Yeah.
But, hopefully we have a good show here for you tonight. Again, we're going to be talking about NASCAR banning the Confederate flag.
What do you think about that? I mean, are you a NASCAR fan?
No, I don't watch NASCAR.
Me neither.
So, I posted something, I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook, that due to the ban, I'm not watching NASCAR, and that keeps the tradition of 39 years I'm not watching NASCAR. So, no, we'll get into it. I have some thoughts on the Confederate flag. It is what it is. It's part of history, but,
Do you think the Confederate flag is such a nuisance? Because it brings me back to the time where, when they were sort of banning or trying to get rid of that whole movement of like getting rid of all the Confederate statues.
No, they're still doing that.
They're still doing that?
Yeah, they've been taking them down and stuff.
But it wasn't as big as it was before.
Yeah, it was like the big news stories and stuff going on now, but it's still happening now. But that goes hand in hand. We'll get into that a little bit, the history of it, and your thoughts, the callers' thoughts, the chat's thoughts of what they think about the whole idea. Again, we're gonna get back into the protesting. That's the big story, and this time we're gonna talk about the All Lives Matter protesting.
That's still going on.
Yep, that's still going on, and then we have Trump. Actually has a conspiracy theory about the story we talked about last week with the Buffalo protester that got pushed down by the police. And again, my favorite, I want to talk about the Paw Patrol, the trolls winning the day, and why some people shouldn't have smartphones or access to the internet. So we're going to take a short break here. Write the number down, 813-419-3602. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the Confederate flag, and we want to hear from you.
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. When you have a culture that doesn't... You know what? Explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates of significant...
You're not using too much, are you, hon?
Charmin Ultra Soft is so soft.
I'm not crazy. You will live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. Oh yes, you taught me. Not negativity, and you taught me to just be me. You told me they were wrong, and I'm not crazy. 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 You will live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget. You live that life with no regrets. And I promise you that I'll never forget.
They tell you that you're wrong, but you're alright. Keep doing what you're doing, staying up all night. You don't have time to listen to their silly rhymes. You gotta do what you gotta do to make sure that you push on through. We both know that you're not crazy, we're not crazy.
I've got boxes on boxes, wattage for days when the moon won't do. I'll shine in its place so you can find your way. Another light bulb at your face. I caught lightning in a mason jar, shining with the power of 1,000 stars. Lightning in a mason jar, see it from wherever you are. If your thoughts high up in the mountain tops, I'll leave the light on, and I'll leave the light on. You can come home right now. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on.
in the mountain tops. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. And you can count.
Bulls Radio Lounge. Gut Check with Belly live here on your Sunday, June 14th. We are broadcasting live from Studio B, and we do want to take a moment to thank our sponsor for this show, the West Tampa Dance Company. West Tampa Dance Company was created in an effort to keep lifelong friends and family together. It has become so much more. The diverse and talented staff is knowledgeable and focuses not only on creative cutting-edge choreography, but also the technical fundamentals and history of dance. Much of the staff has even trained together. The studio is a place where students, past and present, can come together, learn, grow, and have fun. In a matter of months, they not only put together a top-notch place to receive dance instruction and a place people feel comfortable coming to, but they have been able to celebrate and participate in events such as Gasparilla, Tampa Santa Fest Parade, and their own holiday show, with both class and style. For information, please call 813-877-4444. Ask for Manny or Michelle. You can also email info@extremedancetampa.com. That is info@xtremedancetampa.com. For pricing and scheduling, please visit www.extremedancetampa.com. West Tampa Dance Company, come and see what family is all about.
Very well.
Thank you
Very
for
well.
letting them have this shindig here.
Yeah, it's a great facility that they have. They've been here for a little over 8 years. And with this COVID-19 thing going on, right, we thought that the recital wasn't going to happen at USF.
Right.
But it's going to happen.
Good.
In August.
Good. It's
So-
good for the kids to. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm overly cautious, as you can tell during
Yeah.
show prep.
Yeah.
I'm overly cautious, and my story last week. But
I think that's an understatement.
yes,
To be honest with
kiss
you.
my ass. But the kids do need to have their thing, and they need to
Yeah.
have their release, and have their fun, and we got to get back to normal, in some way. So I'm glad that they're able to do this stuff.
And it's good for them to get out and sort of socialize.
Yeah, get out,
you know.
socialize, see your friends. I know we have technology now, but there's nothing like seeing your
It
friends.
doesn't compare with a Zoom. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the Zoom is just sort of when you're there in a class, it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Live, but when you're doing it on Zoom, it doesn't work.
No,
It
it's like you're
works.
watching a Richard Simmons video.
Yeah.
I'm a pony. I'm a
Yeah,
pony. Like, look
yeah.
at me.
Because you have Wi-Fi issues and stuff like
Right.
that. You're not connected correctly.
glitching
but,
and stuff.
you know.
But yeah, thank you for West Tampa Dance Company to let us be live here at Studio B and sponsoring the show. We greatly appreciate you.
Manny Matos.
Manny Matos.
is the owner. Nicole Perez. Nicole Matos. Laney, I believe, is the instructor. Kat, April, Terrence, and Robert to do different types of techniques.
Yep.
And we'll probably have to get you in here one day to do it.
I'll sprain something.
As like a little show thing.
Yeah, okay.
For content.
We'll get an intern for that shit. I'm not doing that. Out of your mind.
West Tampa Dance Studio, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
For what you do.
All right. Let's get this show on the road, man.
Yeah. So
We are going to be talking about the Confederate flag. This stems from NASCAR making a decision to ban the Confederate flag at their events and all their facilities. I'm not a big NASCAR guy. I don't know if you are, Bull.
no,
No, not at all.
I can't sit there and watch. I like live events. I really enjoy live events, but
Yeah.
I cannot sit there and watch cars going around.
I know there's a science to it, and I'm not going to talk down
How
about
much of a science is
the
it?
pit teams and
Well, that,
all
yeah.
that stuff and the
But if you're a
drivers.
spectator,
Yeah, I get it.
how are you?
I mean, they're
how is
making
that a
left
science?
turns. I understand the kind of the simplicity, but at the same time, there's more that goes into it than that with the cars and stuff. I'm just not my thing.
Not my thing. either.
It's not my thing. But NASCAR, yeah, they decided to ban the Confederate flag, and I think we have a little news story here with some audio here,
Let's see.
just to give you a little reminder.
Announced they would ban the presence of the Confederate flag at all of its racing events and properties going forward. In a statement, NASCAR said, quote, "The presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to our commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry.
Now, they did get rid of a number of years ago of the Winston Cup series.
I have no
You
idea.
remember?
I don't
The
know what
Winston
that is.
Cup series used to be a cigarette.
Oh yeah, Winston cigarettes.
Yeah. So they got rid of that because it was
Okay,
you
so
know.
the championship used to be called the Winston
Cup series back in the day.
Now it's called whatever.
I don't know what it's called. NASCAR Cup or NASCAR Sprint Series. They change it all
Okay.
the time.
So they have a different sponsor for it. But what do you think about the decision to ban the Confederate flag, or in general?
Same day,
Hold on.
U.S.
Oh, still playing
President
it.
Donald Trump refused to rename military bases named after Confederate commanders.
Which I don't see that happening.
Renaming the bases.
Yeah, why do you have to do that?
Well, why were they named after Confederate
But
people? We'll get into it.
yeah, because
Is there any more to the?
Saying on Twitter, quote, "These monumental and very powerful bases have become part of a great American heritage. NASCAR becomes the latest sports organization to respond to nationwide protests over the treatment of black people in America following the death of George Floyd, an unarmed black man in Minneapolis who died following a knee to the neck by a police officer that was caught on tape."
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I question about that story.
What do you mean?
Not that I care about if the Confederate flag is waved or not, because I really don't. Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I don't care about.
Well, what do you question about the NASCAR story? Or?
Well, the thing is, like, people want to change the names of military bases, right?
Yeah.
My question is, how is that more or less affecting what's going on? It goes back to what we were talking about, how when you do the protest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, or if you get upset over a statue, right? Like, for example, the statue in the courthouse in Tampa, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I know where the courthouse is,
Yep.
right? I couldn't tell you where the statue was, you
Okay.
know? And I'm not saying it because of any race, creed, or whatever the case may be. I'm saying it because how is that affecting people's sleep if they're doing that? Like,
Well-
NASCAR has been doing the Confederate flag. I'm not sticking up for NASCAR, okay? I'm not sticking up for the Confederate. I'm not sticking up for anything like that. What I'm saying is, like, they've been doing this or having this part of their thing since NASCAR has been running, right? They've been having names from these bases for years, right? And all of a sudden now, because of this particular incident, not saying that it's a good incident, but I'm saying this particular incident, now people are up on the bandwagon to cancel almost goddamn everything.
Okay.
Because of this, which to me is not right, because you're canceling everything to change one thing that a former cop decided to be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
I think it goes a little deeper than that. I think.
Okay, but let me ask you this:
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the Egyptians were building the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Okay.
they enslaved Jews.
Okay.
Okay. There's no Jews protesting about that.
There
They're
might
not
be.
they're not tearing down the pyramids.
There might be a little sect. We don't know, but I mean,
But still, though, they're not tearing down the pyramids.
yeah,
They're
but
not
even
protesting.
If they were, like, let's use your example. If they were, and we wouldn't understand it,
How would we not understand it? We don't even understand this.
because we don't understand the feelings. There might be quite a bit of people that see that had descendants, or excuse me, descendants. I'm an idiot. Have ancestors that were affected by these generals and by these soldiers.
Okay,
these Confederate.
But what you just made a finer point.
Yes.
Ancestors. Okay, we're in the year 2020.
Yes.
Okay, that happened how many years ago? Should we not forget it? No. Should we hinder everything based upon that? No. Should we go towards a future? Yes. Okay.
But what harm is it if we have textbooks? We can still,
Okay,
read
so we have
about
textbooks. Okay,
Confederacy.
all right, so we have textbooks. So what?
Yeah.
Okay, but how is that? That's what I'm trying to ask. How is something like that affecting so much that, like, for example, last night, I think it was, there was, and I don't know, from what I've heard, there was a guy who got stopped, or somebody called the police officers at a Wendy's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, is that the guy that got shot and killed?
Well, hold on. He was intoxicated. He was behind the wheel and fell asleep.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I don't know exactly how far it goes up to that point, but my point is that when they tried to detain him,
Okay.
right, the suspect regardless of race and creed and blah, 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 yada, yada. The suspect got away or tried to get away, grabbed the officer's stun gun, fired the stun gun back. The officer went to go shoot at the suspect, and it killed the suspect, Then the protesters burnt the Wendy's down.
Well, I heard about the Wendy's being burnt down. I heard about the story, but I don't know any ins and outs of it, so I'm not going to speak to it.
That was paraphrasing. Okay, because that in paraphrasing, the guy was behind the wheel drunk. They stopped him, or somebody called. Right, they come over to confront him. He was belligerent, apparently. And I mean, it was all on the body camera. Right.
All right.
Now, here's my point to this. If you reach for a police officer's waist, regardless, again, of creed, where you come from, heritage, doesn't matter. Any cop, right? That suspect, that you have to choose. Because if they're pulling something off of your utility belt, right?
I'm Batman.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, your utility belt, you are now crossing that line.
I can see that.
Saying, okay, but does that counter to destroy a Wendy's restaurant?
But here's the thing that I saw early today. It was actually white people that started the fire at the.
Well, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't give a fuck if it's white, black, Mexican, Puerto Rican. I don't care. Does that have to do? Do you have to sit there and burn the place down because of that?
I understand that. I mean, I understand your point. When it comes to that,
and then the people who are sitting in front of Congress in Seattle, right? The 6 blocks. Of the protesters. That making a camp.
In front of the police station?
Do you really? Do you have to do that?
You don't have to.
I mean, isn't the law say peaceful protesting?
Yeah. Are they being violent?
But they're not. We're not letting anybody else in.
They're not letting anyone in?
Right. So how is that peaceful protesting?
I don't know. I mean, it all depends on your perspective on things.
It's not. How is that perspective?
It might be if they're not causing any harm, if they're not.
But
hurting
they're blocking the public roadway.
Okay.
So how is that? How is that peaceful protesting?
Is there laws on the books in Seattle?
I don't know. I don't know what Seattle laws are.
Exactly.
But if you're under peaceful protest, are you allowed to block off streets?
Maybe.
Are you allowed to pull people out of their cars?
Could be.
That's not peaceful. That's just vigilantism.
I'm Batman.
I don't know. I see that in my mind. I think that, and I'm not choosing any side of the fence. Okay, I saw the interview that the Minneapolis police chief said. Right, he went on the air and said, "We're not condoning what," and he didn't even name the guy's name.
Yeah.
Right, he said that I'm not defunding the police. Okay, but we're not condoning what happened.
Okay.
He chose to do this on his own, right? It wasn't like he said that there are good cops in this world.
Yes, there are.
And
that's a true statement.
And all this stuff should not be hindered on this one particular incident. Okay?
I don't think it's one incident. I think it's many incidents that's happened over time. It's just boiled over.
It stemmed from this.
Yeah, this was the tipping point. This is where the glass got filled to the rim and it started spilling over.
But all of this could have been handled a whole different way than what has been handled now.
On all sides.
On all sides. Okay, and it doesn't matter. Take creed out of it, take race out of it, take heritage out of it, take all that out of it, right? This could have been handled a whole different way. You know what I mean? Because all this rioting, all this burning down stuff, all this anarchy, all this chaos, right? If we were civilized, quote unquote, human beings, right?
Yep.
Then none of this should be even happening. That's why we can't get aliens to come down here.
You think that's the reason?
They're watching like a Jerry Springer show.
Speaking of aliens, G. Landry 25, pyramids were constructed by aliens. Alien face emoji.
Yeah.
That's right up Bull's alley right there.
That's right.
But we got a little bit spun the wheels there a little bit.
To be honest with you, just this whole thing, every news story that I hear is about this whole thing. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, the George Floyd thing is a horrible thing,
yeah.
Right? Regardless of whatever it is, right? But I think as a world, I think that we're not looking at it from a sort of rational perspective.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I understand what
We're
you're
looking at, we're like, pretty much if you look at everything that's going on within like 2020, right? Wildfires in Africa, right? That burned up, I don't know, 90% of, not Africa, Australia. That burned up 90% of Australia, right? Or the vast, whatever you want to call it. The
people
bush.
saving koalas and all
Right.
that stuff.
Homes being destroyed.
Yep.
COVID-19, right? And now this.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Like 2020 has been a shit full of year.
It's been a shit year.
You know, and, you know, this whole thing is just, you know, and I've been hearing people say, well, the other cop should have been, you know, and here's my thing. If I was a rookie cop, right, and I was part of that particular squad, right, I would have tackled the guy. Not the George Floyd guy, but I'm talking about the police officer who was, regardless of what my rank is or whatever the guy is, right?
Yeah.
If I would have saw that guy with his knee on his neck, right, I would have tackled him.
Okay.
And I would have pushed him off. Said, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? What the hell? Fire me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, it doesn't matter where you come from. No matter what.
I hear you.
You still shouldn't do that if you're a police officer.
Right.
There's
no standard operating
right.
procedures. You didn't follow them.
But going from that to now, everything that's been going on now, I think that we're not rationalizing things the way we should.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is a lot of people just see the news cycle, and this is the top news story to get the ratings. Throw all that shit away. Think about the root causes of the issues. Issues that have been going on for generations and for years and years and years. And, of course, the media is just going to glorify it, you know.
Well, of course
just to
is.
get the ratings.
The ratings
and, stuff like that.
You know, yeah.
So that's why we're seeing these multitude of stories. This is the next big thing. Let's focus on the issue and how we solve
Okay, well,
issue.
then how do we solve the issue? Well, we make cops, good or bad, we make them go through a very strenuous class.
Yeah.
Ethics class, right? We go through a very strenuous, very arduous instruction class of how to detain suspects, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And
I'm trying to look at the chat too.
And not sit there and go, hey, look, you know, let's not be like what this one guy did, be the judge, jury, and executioner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. A lot of people, psychologically wise, what happens when they get to that certain power, right? That ranking.
Yeah.
They think that they're above everything else.
Okay.
Which is not true.
Okay,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true. Yeah.
Which is not true at all. Any police officer that does their job correctly will tell you that no, we're not above the law.
Yeah.
We're just enforcing the law. Now, mind you, I don't know what this guy was doing prior to this. I don't know his history. I don't know, because it's hard to sit there and say, because I don't know him personally. Right. Now, I'm not saying the cop, but I'm talking about the George Floyd, right?
Yeah.
I don't know him personally, right?
No,
so I can't sit there and make judgment on all I hear is what's on the news and blah, 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 and yada, yada.
Well, even though I think he had some stuff in the past or whatever, and he got stopped there for $20, that's not...
But what does that? What does
it
that
has
mean?
nothing to do with that moment.
But what does that mean, though? What I've been hearing that too. What does $20 have to do with anything?
I think it was accused of forgery. If someone in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong on this at all. I greatly appreciate it. But I think it had something to do with forgery. It was like $20, and it snowballed into now the man's dead. And then I've been seeing the Facebook keyboard warriors and stuff. Well, you know, he has a criminal past. Who gives a shit? I know plenty of good people that done something stupid in the past. It doesn't matter in that moment.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We should be focused on the future.
Right.
Not the past.
Well, when the past hasn't been dealt with in a way
Agreed. I agree
I
with
can
that.
see where people are still they bring up the past and stuff. And I think that's a lot of the argument. And a lot of it that comes back to the Confederate flag and what your question was earlier about what I feel about the renaming of bases and the statues and the monuments and removing all that.
But let me ask you this. When you go buy a base and it has some sort of Confederate name on it, regardless of who it is, right?
Right.
Does it bother you that much?
It doesn't bother me personally because I've never been affected by it.
Okay,
I was on the winning side, by the way. I'm a Northerner.
Okay, but I mean, regardless, let's just put it in a perspective to where we can look at it as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. For me, right. Agreed that I'm not. I don't like what happened in America's past. Okay.
Right.
But that's the past. You can't change that.
You can't change the past.
You can't change the past.
But we need to acknowledge it so we can change the future. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge it. They just want to sweep it under the rug. Kind of like when you tell your kids to clean the room and they just throw the shit in the closet and they don't really throw it. They don't really clean it.
But I think they also want to do it to where it's making a bolder statement to where you want to cause a controversy. You know what I'm saying?
And that's part of the media, too.
Yeah, that is true. But when you look through like a statue, or you look through, like, I could understand if there's like a Hitler statue somewhere or something like that, or a Nazi statue somewhere, that could be a little bit, compelling.
Let's take let me stop you right there for a second. Let's take your example of Hitler statue. If someone sees Robert E. Lee, and we have an African American family whose family was affected by the Confederacy and, slave owners that followed Robert E. Lee, it's kind of the same thing.
Okay, but then let me ask you this. How is it affecting them in this present time?
Well, how does it still affect Jews that, still see Nazi propaganda?
I'm not saying let's forget about it. I'm just saying
they're still hurt by it.
Do we have to sit there and, like, change everything? Like they want to defund the police.
Well, we're going off. That's a totally different subject.
No, but I'm just saying they want to defund the police. Okay, that's one of the top topics.
I think demilitarization of the police. When I see protests and stuff, and then I see the police come out looking like a mobile infantry, there's a little bit of an issue there.
But why is there? If you're being thrown rocks and you're being thrown, all kinds of stuff, Molotov cocktails, right? Okay, you're gonna have to protect yourself somehow.
You do. But you don't need to have fully automatic weapons and tanks and shit. And
so what's the difference between another guy having that?
What do you mean?
Well, if okay, let's just take it for this example, right? Like in Saudi Arabia, right? When they have the wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's 10-year-old kids that have AK-47s.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's just their culture.
But again, it's gonna happen here.
It can.
Who could say that there was a kid that had a 9mm on him? Or another AK-47.
You're right.
Okay, so why can't that's our what, a Second Amendment that we can protect ourselves with weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the right to bear arms.
Right. I have a 12 gauge, shotgun in my house. I have another weapon in my house.
Right.
All kinds of knives. But because you don't know what the other person is holding, so you're gonna have to. And I don't. To be honest with you, if the police force is able to sit there and defend themselves because they're putting their lives on the line, okay, to accurately defend themselves, right?
Yep.
And to do it justly, okay? I have no problem with them defending themselves at all costs.
I have no problem with anyone defending themselves if their lives are in danger in that moment.
Because you got to understand, when you go out on patrol like this, right, and you go to a house or you go to a stop or you pull somebody over, right,
yeah.
You have no idea what you're walking into.
No, you're
and
correct.
You have no idea what you're about to face, because there's been cops who have sat there, the nicest people in the world, have no record, and they go up for stopping a person for a taillight, right? And what they do is a guy pulls out, doesn't matter where they come from, their heritage, doesn't matter whatever, and they pull out a gun and start blasting them.
Right. People are unpredictable.
Exactly. So, should they shoot on contact? No. Okay. Because things have to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, do we sort of have to police things to a certain degree? Maybe.
Yeah.
Because if not, then anarchy is going to reign, right? Chaos is going to ensue, right? Governments are going to shut down, okay? There's a friend of mine that works in the Tampa police station, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's worked there for I don't know, probably like 40 years,
okay.
right? And she was saying that she was scared out of her mind.
I'm sure it's a scary situation.
Because people were huddling around the Tampa Police Department.
Oh, yeah. It's a scary situation, man.
She has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to throw another curveball at you here, because when the whole COVID-19, before the George Floyd unfortunate incident happened and all these other incidents that have happened recently with the police.
Yeah.
COVID-19, the protests that happened in Michigan and all these other states, all these people showed up to the legislative houses fully armed with semi-automatics. I did not see one police officer in riot gear. I didn't see anyone with their artillery.
But why were they there?
Because they wanted their haircuts and they wanted the states to open up, and they wanted.
But I could okay, not with the weapons, but I mean, you can't sit there and change that because you have the right to bear arms.
Right. So these people have the right to peaceful. My point is these guys showed up with these automatic weapons that you said people are unpredictable.
Yeah.
So one of these guys could have got a wild hair up their ass and could have started something in that legislative, and none of those police officers were as armed as they are for these protests for Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy there, a little bit. And, you know, it was okay for these armed with these rifles and these automatic weapons to protest getting haircuts and standing on the steps of the Capitol buildings. But, you know, there's an issue where people want to walk down Bayshore, you know, because a black man was killed unjustly again by a police officer.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Whether the Bayshore thing was another separate incident?
No, it's just a peaceful protest if someone wants to walk down the block. And then you have, of course, you're going to have your bad actors that start shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the peaceful protest in general.
Right.
And, you know, the white people that protested in Michigan and all those other places, they were protesting to be served. Black people need to protest to be heard, and there's a big difference there.
I think though, to be honest with you, not to stop you.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
But I think though what a lot of people are missing, right? And I'm not trying to go against anybody because I don't need the issues, right? But I think what a lot of people are missing too is that everybody, no matter what race you come from, what heritage, what family, what creed, what history you come from, right? All lives matter to that point because everybody has had some sort of issue with law enforcement officers throughout their years, right? So I think that it shouldn't just be one particular, race or creed or heritage. They should be sort of fighting for everybody because we all bleed the same blood.
That's true.
We all breathe the same air, right? So if we're encouraging one particular event, how is that helping?
I think going back to what I said about it last week, in theory, all lives do matter. But to say that in response to a protest about Black Lives Mattering in terms of the history of the way they've been treated in this country is kind of petty to me. And it's like, I think it's rooted when people just respond that way in an angry way.
Wow.
You know, I might catch heat for it or whatnot, but there's a little bit of racial undertones underneath it to me personally, because every life does matter. That is true, except for pedophiles. You all can fucking die and choke on a dick.
Fucking just kill them.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in theory, all human life does matter, and the well-being of all matters. But there's been a history of one race being treated lesser than another. Multiple races. Just give me 1 second.
Okay,
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
One race and multiple races have been treated lesser in this country for hundreds of years, and for them to try to have a moment and say, yes, look, we matter too. We fought your wars, we've been your soldiers. We are part of your police departments. We are your firefighters. We are your doctors. We are, your EMTs. But fundamentally, as a society as a whole, as an institution, we don't matter as much as you guys do, especially in the criminal justice system. And we have evidence of incident after incident after incident that's happened, and nothing has come about it, and there hasn't been any real change.
But let me ask you this. Agreeing on that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times what we see is from news outlets.
Yes.
Okay? Having said that, to say this, right? What we don't see around the world, okay, is the same situation happening around the world, okay? From different countries, different creeds, different heritages, different races, okay, the only reason why that we're seeing it most of all here, okay, is because what we're seeing in mainstream media.
Yeah.
I mean, now, come on. Now think about it here. What do we get when most, like, when you wake up in the morning, right, and you go, here we go, another bright and shiny day, right?
Yep.
Turn on the TV, right? What's the most thing you see on the news?
You see whatever the hot button topic is.
Exactly. What is it mostly on the news?
Yeah, it's right
Somebody
now.
broke into something.
Yeah.
Well, before all that, somebody broke into something. Somebody shot somebody. Okay, but this happens around the world. This happens in different countries. This happens in different areas around the world, whether it be third world countries, whether it be, Egyptian, whether it be Spain. It doesn't matter. All this happens to every single heritage, every single race. Like, there's an island over there, I think it's just south of Greece, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has no cell phones, no nothing, absolutely nothing, right?
Yeah.
They've tried to explore the island, but the islanders have shot them with bow and arrows.
Okay.
Okay? Nobody says anything about that. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not. See, I think what you're missing on this a little bit is it's the history of this whole country has been predicated on this issue.
And that's the thing. It's the history.
Yes, and
Should
it's continuing
But
today.
should we forget about the history? No.
No, we shouldn't
Should
forget
we
about
make
the
a
history.
change? Yes.
Right.
Should we make a change like we're doing now? No.
Okay.
Because what we're doing now is not changing anything. People burning buildings, people rioting, people pulling people out of cars that are trying to get to work to support their families, okay? That is not helping the cause.
No, but
Okay?
like I said, okay, so you're making that statement. So I saw something on Facebook that kind of goes hand in hand. So we're judging the whole movement. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just taking the comments. So one can say that we're judging the whole movement and the whole, issue of Black Lives Matter or the stance of Black Lives Matter by a few bad apples. And a lot of people do that on social media, but those same people.
But again, it's social media.
Right, but it's people's thoughts, though. It's not. I'm not talking about like news or CNN,
Right.
MSNBC. I'm just talking about people, everyday people. So they have an issue with that, and they're like, "Oh, it's because of these bad apples and this whole movement's bullshit." And these are the same people that no matter what a police officer does, there's good cops. Oh, there's good cops. You just can't judge it. Well, you can't do the same thing with the looters and the rioters as well.
Why can't you?
Because if you're going to sit
Is there good looters and bad looters? Is there good protesters and bad protesters?
Well, there's your peaceful protesters, and then you got your bad eggs.
So again, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I'm judging the people that attack the whole movement because you have some jackasses that want to loot, riot, and destroy stuff. But those same people that want to attack the whole movement, no matter what, will defend the police and say the Blue Lives Matter, and they'll sit there and say, well, there's just a few bad eggs. You can't judge the whole thing. Well, then you can't judge the Black Lives Matter if you're not judging the police.
I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying that it's a whole, but there's people that do that.
Yeah.
And those are the people
Yeah.
I call out and I have a problem with because
Yeah.
they're hypocrites.
I mean, I think that if you're going to protest, and don't get me wrong, I believe in protesting, right? I believe in standing up for what you believe in, right? I don't believe in the violent protesting. I don't believe in
I don't think anyone really does.
Well-
anyone that really wants change.
right. But if you want change, there's a different way of approaching it. Okay? There's a different, like in the 70s when hundreds of thousands of people stood in what is it called? What's that pool? The reflection pool?
Yeah.
In Washington D.C., right? For World War II or something like that.
I can't remember.
One of those wars, right?
Yeah.
That was hundreds of thousands of people, right, in the 70s, protesting against the war.
Okay.
Peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Peaceful. You didn't have fucking people violating the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Those
You didn't
people
have-
are assholes.
But still, that's what's making the whole protest a bad name. That's what's making people sit there and go, you know what? This has become insane. Our country is losing our grip on society because you have people like this that are making everything
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay?
I understand
Just
what you're
like
saying.
with that cop, right? That former cop, is a fucking jackass asshole.
Yes.
Okay? I don't care what he is. I don't care color. I don't care race. I don't give a fuck. That guy is an asshole, and he should be brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law, because that is not what cops do. Okay?
Okay.
But the thing is that there are cops out there, just like there are protesters out there, that do the job correctly, safely, and to the books. Okay? And if you defund the cops, okay, and you say, I don't want any cops whatsoever, right? So then what happens?
I don't think it's that.
But hold on. Now what happens if now you have people who are breaking into your shop, or you have people breaking into your homes?
Right.
Okay, and you're like, let's say you're a protester, and you have somebody breaking into your home, right? You go, hey, look, I need the cops out here. Well, we can't bring the cops out here because you guys wanted to defund the cops. So we can't do anything. You see what I'm saying?
I think the whole thing with defunding the police, I think more money can be better invested instead of, like we had the call last week from Steven, of not arming the police with hardware. It's training, education.
Yes.
I want to see, I live in suburban Plant City, conservative town Plant City, and we have police. I see cops driving up and down the street or whatever. I haven't had a cop like, well, I'm just sitting outside with my sons playing or whatever. They don't just stop and say, hey, how you doing? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah.
Community engagement. I think if we had more of that, especially in minority communities where, where they stop and, they play, you get your stories every once in a while where they're playing basketball together.
Yeah.
If it's something that it was happen on a consistent basis and you got to know these people and everyone got to know each other instead of just seeing them during the bad times, especially in these bad neighborhoods. And these downtrodden neighborhoods. I shouldn't say bad. I apologize for that. Downtrodden neighborhoods.
But some of them are bad.
They have higher crime rates than others.
Right.
But you also, I just don't judge it by the people in the neighborhood.
Conditions.
I judge by their socioeconomic status, what they have to do to survive, and
what America
funds.
has told us to judge other places in America about.
Yeah.
That's what you're judging it on.
Yeah, everything. If we invested more in those communities, and for other things other than hardware, in training, education, and community outreach, I think it would go a long way. But a lot of times, like I said, as soon as something happens, they rush out there like an infantry.
Yeah.
And it's scary, man. Like what I got to explain to my kid, why is that policeman dressed like a soldier? And that's a conversation I don't want to have with my kids right now. But you have to. You have to have the conversation.
But the thing is that I can see like why they're dressing like they are. Okay, because look at what you have to go through.
Yeah.
Okay. As being a police officer.
No, yeah,
okay?
I get it. It's a tough job. It's a thankless job.
Right. Look at what you have to go through, all right? You don't make a lot of good money yearly with it.
No, not at all.
But you're going out there with people who are buying, weapons in the black market, right? That are way powerful than what they're carrying.
I get that. I mean, I get it. It's a slippery slope, and there's no black and white area in it.
No.
Everything's a gray area.
We have to work together in order to make this change, right? On both sides of the fence, public and law enforcement, okay? It just can't sit there and go, it can't just go one way or another. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
It has to go from the public has to have a middle ground, a neutral ground, just like law enforcement does.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Law enforcement has a job to do. Their job is to serve and protect, right?
Correct.
Which means in theory. Which means if you're going by that, right, then you have to sit there and say, okay, well, there's times that you have to do what you have to do in order to protect yourself and the citizens.
That's correct.
Okay.
I understand that.
But then also the public has to understand, because we live in a social media empire, right, where everything can go on the social media and get strung all over the place, which is not even true sometimes.
Sometimes you're correct.
They also have to realize that a lot of times, whether you like it or not, they're doing their job. Okay?
Yes.
If you don't, that's just That's just anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to Europe, it's the same way.
Yeah.
You go to Germany, it's the same way. You go to Paris, it's the same way. It doesn't make a difference where you go. That line has to be in the middle between public and law enforcement.
Yes, I understand it. And
And
I think a lot of the times where, when you see a social media, like I see some videos on social media where I'm like, well, I totally get why the cop did what he or she did. And there's other times where it's like, what the fuck is this guy thinking? And
But then again, is it out of context?
it could be out of. That's why you got to know your sources. You got to
Right.
question it. You got to look into it. You just can't go like have an off the cuff kind of
Like the thing with the George Floyd, right? The
Right.
whole video right there, and
Yeah.
the old man who got pushed.
right.
Now, here's the interesting story about that.
Well, we're gonna get into the.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
But
after
the George Floyd
right.
thing, just to touch base on that,
Yeah.
right? There's 25,000 cameras that were on that, right?
Right.
And that was
There's no way you can justify
No.
what happened to that man.
that cop was wrong no matter what.
Right.
Okay. I mean, seriously, he was
But-
just wrong.
Again, it goes back to it's been a pattern of behavior for hundreds of years. So when someone sees something happen on a social media video that happens to mostly to minorities, but it can also happen to white Americans as well, people fly off the handle.
But it could happen to minorities. It can happen to rich people.
Right. It can happen to anybody, and people fly off the handle because there is an institutional problem that's been going on for hundreds of years. But now that we have social media and everyone has a camera phone, it can be put in check now. And now people have a voice because of social media, and they can say what they want to say.
let's take that with a grain of salt too. Okay, social media is very negative.
Yes,
Okay,
most
social
of the time.
media
Yes.
is very destroying.
Yes.
Okay, because when you put something on social media, right, you can chop that up
Oh yeah, yeah. If
and
you have the
make
skills
it
to do it.
And well, it doesn't have to make that much. I mean, you can sit there.
No,
and
you
shoot
can
a
do it on your
2
cell
minute-
phone, and
yeah.
you can edit your.
And that's what
videos
I'm
and stuff.
saying, right?
Yeah.
Like I saw a video one time, and going back to what we talked about last week with the whole Karen thing, right?
Yeah.
And I seen a lady, and I hate to dignify what race it was, okay? But basically, I think it was like a Puerto Rican family, right, playing, music that they liked, their culture. Okay?
Yeah, I think I saw the video.
Like
you're
Spanish
talking about.
music,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And this I hate to do this again. This white lady.
Some dumb white bitch.
Okay, because listen, I don't care if you're
Yeah, yeah.
I don't care what color
just
you
got-
are.
it's-
It doesn't
that's a
matter to
fact.
me.
It was a white lady
Yeah.
that went to a Puerto Rican or a Hispanic family.
Right, but what I'm saying is this lady would pull out the trump card. She pulled out this because she wanted to fish, and she was mad about because the way they were playing their music, right? And to me, if I go to a park and I'm fishing, right, I don't give a fuck what music is playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't care what it is. So why does it matter? What does it matter? Like if you want to blast country music, right?
No, don't blast country music.
No, I'm just saying if you want to blast country music, I don't care.
I do. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
But that's just me though. I don't care, because I don't see it that way. I see
get you.
that you like what you like, and that's cool. Like with my music, I have a vast plethora of
We can tell from the commercial breaks.
of different. Well, the reason why I play those songs is
I
because
know. I'm fucking with you.
it's
I'm fucking with
YouTube.
I get you.
That's the problem. But
But-
my thing is, like what was another story where this one little girl was trying to sell like donuts or something like that, right, out in front of her apartment. Okay,
You have
And
videos
this-
for everything,
yeah,
man.
and it's like
People
it's just-
are dickheads.
They are. Everybody's a dickhead. you know?
Everyone can be a dickhead. People suck. I mean,
Yeah.
Homo sapiens are the worst animal on this planet, bar none. We destroy everything. We're selfish as a whole, and we just destroy everything we touch. And we're fucking greedy, and we just want me,
Right.
and
we
fuck
want my
everyone
15
else.
minutes,
But
15 seconds of fame.
Looking at the chat's blowing up in here. Let's scroll up here and see what we got here.
Chad Cantor over here.
We got Juan Hernandez. All lives matter is in addressing the disparity of social injustice. When I see his point there, when people automatically use it as a response to people saying Black Lives Matter, I do understand.
But I
where
think
he's
it should
getting
be
at.
changed.
What should be changed?
I don't think. How do I put this without sounding drastically over the top? Right. I think it should be like we discussed earlier. All lives matter. Like I said before, it should it should just be not just be one particular thing.
But the thing is, it's not that just they're not saying just Black Lives Matter. Like if I sit there and I go to SeaWorld and someone says save the whales, they're not just saying fuck every other animal. They're just saying this particular animal is being mistreated.
Okay, but then if you have somebody that has no idea what the hell is going on, that doesn't pay attention to it,
well, then they need to smarten up and they need to research it, in my opinion.
Okay, but all right, if you want to touch on that, I'll tell you this. Blackfish, the movie Blackfish, that destroyed SeaWorld, that destroyed Busch Gardens, that was mainly because of the fucking SeaWorld having whales at their park, right?
Yes.
Now, mind you, when SeaWorld first started, they did acquire whales.
Yes,
But ever since the last couple of years when they first started, they bred those whales to be inside. So if they let those whales go, they could not survive in captivity.
I understand that.
But the same thing here.
I was just using that as an example.
But I'm just saying the same thing here. If you sit there and say, well, Black Lives Matter, okay, well, that's true, right? But then again, if you have somebody that has no idea what the fuck's going on, right, and you should say, hey, instead of Black Lives Matter, all lives matter.
You're right. But a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of responses when people say all lives matter, it's not because they're ignorant to it.
Then what do you call it?
They're racist. They're racial. A lot of people that use it are racial. And that goes with the story that we're going to talk about after the break as well. That FedEx worker that got fired he was at an All Lives Matter protest, and he was imitating George Floyd having his knee on his neck. But we'll get it.
What?
Yeah,
are you serious?
The fucking idiot was sitting there with
Was
his
he in
knee.
a FedEx uniform?
No, he was in his Trump shit, and he was wearing Confederate flag shit and all that
he
stuff.
was just looking for something.
Right, but that's where all these people, all lives matter. There's a racial undertone under it, and they don't understand the root of the why people say Black Lives Matter. And it has to do with the history. It has nothing to do with them saying Black Lives Matter, fuck everyone else. And that's what it. When you look at that, that's what you sort of get off the surface. I don't.
I mean,
I don't. I mean, I personally don't. But you say you also don't follow this stuff too.
Well, okay. When
you don't follow politics.
When you see it from day in and day out and day in and day out and day in and day out, and then you see people sit there start blowing up shit and start setting fires and stuff. Like there was a couple of stories where there was a guy in New York that was a black guy. He was yelling at other black people that were part of the protest.
Yes.
He's like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Right.
I'm from the ghetto too. You guys just destroyed my truck.
Yes.
You destroyed my building that I worked so hard to do.
It goes back to everyone, cops in the Black Lives Matter movement, in every movement, in every sect. People are assholes, and you're going to have some shit people, but we can't judge all cops because you got dickhead cops, and I believe that you can't do that with the Black Lives Matter movement or anyone that's protesting, because peaceful protests have been happening. Going back to last week again, Colin Kaepernick, and everyone called him a son of a bitch. They were being disrespectful to the flag and the country and the soldiers. It was everything other than the point he was actually trying to get across. And then once the cup spills over, it's these rioters, these looters, they're pieces of shit, and it makes the whole movement null and void. It's not true. It's the same way as the bad cops don't make good cops void. There are good police officers. There are good precincts. You got shitheads in there, like you have shitheads that are doing protesting and that are rioting.
You have shitheads all around.
There's shitheads everywhere.
Yeah,
there's shitheads everywhere.
You can never get you'll never get a straight line in the sand for peaceful protesting or peaceful whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. It's always going to be, like you just said, shithead cops and then shithead protesting. That's it. And that's, I think that, maybe this is a turning point for the world.
I hope it is.
Maybe this is a turning, no matter where you stand on it.
Yeah.
Okay. No matter how you look at the protesting, no matter how you look at the police departments, no matter how you look at everything from history, let's just say right now, that if we're going forward to 2021 in the next couple of months, right?
Mhm.
In 6 months, right? What is the world going to be like? What is the world going to be like in 2022? What is the world going to be like 5 more years from now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is sort of a precursor of what's to come. Okay. This is the precursor of what our world is coming to at this day and age.
Okay.
Okay. Social media has reigned. Okay. Social media has ruined a lot of lives. Not just for the good or the bad, but in general, because nobody is getting the correct information. Okay. Nobody is getting things that they need to get in order to survive.
People are lazy and they don't want to go out and seek and research and do their due diligence to see what is true and what's not true.
Okay,
they just want to follow and believe what they want to believe and get it from the avenues which they want to get it from.
Take it from this perspective, right? In Italy, right? When this whole COVID thing went down, okay, the rivers in Italy, the canals, have never been cleaner. Okay, they've been crystal clear.
Yeah.
Okay, L.A., the smog went away. Okay, that's a precursor. That's a precursor of what's going down. This whole thing, right, is a precursor of where humanity is going from here.
Yep.
Okay, because it shows how insecure and how oh my God, we're all going to die type of situation.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
So if we don't make the change now, okay, and if we don't make the change, in the next, because, for a number of years they've been saying like the ozone layer is going to be like blah, 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 right?
Change. Yep. We can have a whole show on that too.
But that's what I'm saying. If we don't make the change now, then we're all going to be like chaos, anarchy. The whole system's going to shut down. Everything's going to shut down. Just look at with the COVID thing.
Yep.
Look how much have shut down. Look how many people have lost their jobs and possibly lost their lives because of something that's probably not even true. Okay?
You lost me there.
Okay. Well, that's a whole
other subject.
But what I'm talking about is that it's a precursor to where humanity is going.
I got you.
Okay? All this stuff is a precursor to where we're going. And that's why I say I think that all of this stuff is a litmus test to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why I go back to saying if aliens were here or they're watching us, they're probably watching like a Jerry Springer show up in their spaceship. They're probably laughing their ass off.
We're that trash reality TV show. But I know we got off, me and Bull got very passionate about that, and I've been ignoring the chat a little bit. I'm not ignoring the chat, but I just haven't gotten to the chat.
The chat cancer.
I apologize to you about that. Juan Hernandez, please give us a call, 813-419-3602. You make an excellent point. We are two white American males that are going back and forth.
But it
about
doesn't
this.
matter.
But I get the feeling of voice of color on this voice of color on the show for this topic next week. Perhaps it would help enlighten the struggles of the minority community is fighting for, which I agree. I understand, but I don't understand.
Hold on. Can I acknowledge something that Juan Hernandez said?
Please,
okay?
please.
It says, Bull, stop being afraid to acknowledge color because that means you are afraid to acknowledge the issue, which is the root of... No. Let's get one thing straight, okay? I am not afraid to acknowledge any creed, color, race, or whatever, okay? To me, and this is just my personal belief, okay, I judge the person of how they act.
Okay.
I don't care whether you're whatever come from. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Okay? I deal with different races, different colors, different creeds, different backgrounds all day long, 24/7, 7 days a week. Okay? If you're going to be ignorant, then that's on you. Okay, like I said, I don't care what color you are.
Okay.
I don't see that. Okay, because no matter what color you come from, right, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad no matter what. Okay, you're going to have your rich people, you're going to have your poor people, you're going to have your middle stream people. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is, and I think that's where a lot of humanity has lost its course because they want to specify what people like. When you go apply for a job, right? Mm-hmm. They ask you, are you Hispanic? Are you black? Are you white? Are you this? Are you that?
Yeah.
Right? Does it make a fucking difference? If you could do the job, what does it make a difference?
That's just for statistics, but I get your point.
That's what
I
I'm
see what your
saying.
point is.
What does it matter?
It shouldn't. But
Okay,
I mean,
we all bleed the same blood. We all breathe the same goddamn air.
yes.
Okay, so no, I don't care about what color skin you are. I don't care where you come from.
I don't think he's trying to say that's you personally.
No, he's saying that he wants me to acknowledge color because that means you are afraid to acknowledge the issue. No, I'm not. Okay, the issue is that fucking goddamn wannabe cop became judge, jury, and executioner
Yes.
on a person.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what color he is.
Yeah.
He is a person, a human being. I don't care if he had $20, $50, $100 in his pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy decided to take his life.
Yes.
He had the objective to take his life. He wanted to take his life, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. Point, period, the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get your point. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying there, but I think it goes deeper, especially for minorities.
Whoever's calling, by the way, please call back again. I'm sorry. I was in sort of a.
He was in a rant.
I don't mean to make rants. So trust me. I'm not. And I'm
it's
not.
all good, man. We're here to have
Juan
discussion.
Hernandez, please call back. I'd love to hear from you. And again, this is just our
Call right now, Juan.
yeah, this is just our opinion on the show. Okay, we're not saying that we're right. We're not saying that we're wrong. Okay, we're not saying that blah 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 whatever. Okay, it's just strictly based on opinions. Okay, and like I said, I don't care about if you want to play whatever music you want to play because whatever culture you want to play, right? I don't care what this color of your skin is. It doesn't matter to me.
No, Juan, call in and elaborate exactly what you're speaking about and what your point was. So we got a full understanding on it, and maybe we can go into a little bit more.
I don't know. It's one of those things. I saw that in the chat. I usually don't pay attention to the chat, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because in the years I've been doing radio, right? If you start paying attention to the chat, then you're going to get off kiltered and start focusing on that.
Yeah, I
know
get
what
you. I get you.
So, anyways, so going back to the one with what was it, the Trump thing that you had?
Well,
Or the FedEx guy.
yeah, the FedEx guy. Let's
You
go
want to
ahead.
play that one?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into that one.
Oh, let me see if I can do this.
Oh,
One of the men seen in this now viral video mocking the death of George Floyd during a protest in New Jersey has been fired from his job at FedEx. The company releasing a statement today that read in part, "We do not tolerate the kind of appalling and offensive behavior depicted in this video. The individual involved is no longer employed by FedEx."
Now, do you think FedEx has taken a stance on this because of the whole thing? Is that why they fired him?
it's a moral. I think it's morally right.
But as a company, do you think they fired him because of they don't want backlash because of this?
Oh, of course, that's part of it. That has to be part of it.
The fire of the employee comes after he was initially suspended. The video, which shows one man kneeling on another's neck, imitating the way George Floyd was killed, was recorded during a peaceful protest in Franklinville on Monday. The other man involved has been suspended from his job as a corrections officer at Bayside State Prison, pending the outcome
See, that's
of an
that's a
investigation.
lot of the problem right there, brother. It's an institution, and you're gonna see someone's gonna see that video, and they're gonna be like, see, everyone that has to do with corrections and policing. That guy makes it an issue for your good cops, man.
Okay, but here's the thing. The guy did his whatever he did, right? Whether the kneeling on the guy, the mannequin's neck, right?
He did it.
Okay, so was it sort of? I don't agree with it. I don't agree with him doing that, right? But then again, how do you tell the guy no because he's protesting what he thinks, in his mind, was righteous?
I think.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think the protest was for all lives. I don't know exactly what the whole protest was about, but he's mocking at that point.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. That's the difference in humanity. Okay, because
he's a piece of shit.
Well, no, because we see what we see on the TV,
Yeah.
right? But we don't know what the guy was actually doing, what his basis was for it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can there's a way to explain that.
Do you think that he was wrong?
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm not agreeing with him at all. I think it was wrong for him to do that, right? But in his mind, he thought that he was right.
Well, everyone thinks that they're right.
Well, that's what makes you people who they
Right.
are.
But you got to sit there and you got to use your goddamn
Common sense.
frontal lobe that hopefully you have, you dumb redneck ass, because you know a man just died because of a knee on the neck. So you're going to have Confederate flags, Trump flags, All Lives Matter signs.
Juan Hernandez.
All right. Tell him to hold on for just 1 second.
Hold on just for a second, Juan, all right?
I got to finish my thought. And
Hold on. Juan, are you there? Hello, Juan.
Hello.
Hey, hold on just for a second, buddy, all right? We'll get to you in a minute.
Just give me 1 second, bub.
Okay. We'll put him on hold.
And then, the man just died because of the knee on the neck. You have the other guy participating that's a corrections officer.
Right.
And you know you're going to get videoed because you're at a protest in 2020 and everyone has a smartphone. And you're going to make the conscious effort to put your knee on someone's neck saying All Lives Matter as cars are driving across. There's no other way to...
No, there's not.
There's no other way to explain it. You're a racist asshole, and I'm glad you lost your job, and I hope the corrections officer loses his job, and the guys that work with that corrections officer need to come out and say, we don't support that dickhead. He was wrong in doing it, and it's the wrong message to get across. Now, Juan, where are you calling from, buddy?
Yeah,
Juan!
Come on, man. Really?
We're having no luck with the phone system.
No, he was on the phone. I told him to hold on, and you heard me say hold on. Juan Hernandez, please call back, and please stay on the line until we get to you. This is why I wish I had a phone screener, right?
Yeah, we need someone else.
Because if you could see what I'm doing back here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like doing a freaking all kinds of bullshit
I get
back
you. I'm sitting here just talking like an asshole.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, that's why you're the host of the show, and I'm just sort of a backpedaling moron back here.
But, I mean... There's no excuse for that guy. If someone agrees with that dude and is listening, which I doubt with the audience.
Well, please call in if you agree.
Call in. It's hard to do it like if you listen to it throughout the week. But if you do, send us an email if you agree with this All Lives Matter. What's
bullsradio@gmail.com.
Yeah, shoot us an email.
bullsradiolounge@gmail.com.
If you want us to call you, leave your phone number. We'll call you.
I'm not going to call him.
You're not going to call?
I don't want to call him.
You don't want to call? I'll call you. Because I want to talk to people that have different ways of thinking from myself and have these good, passionate conversations.
This phone line is open when the show is on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, beyond that, it's not open.
Okay. Well, I mean, just shoot us an email and say, hey, I want to talk.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we'll try to hook it up somewhere.
If you want to leave an email, just go to Bulls or write to Bulls. Jesus Christ, bullsradiolounge@gmail.com, and they'll read it live on the air.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. In a humanity sense, I guess, it'd almost be the same as they said if you did something that people found appalling, but in your mind, you thought you were right in doing it.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, granted, what is that? Juan Hernandez just chimed in.
Slave owners thought they were right.
And again, you got to look at the time.
It doesn't make it right.
But look at the time that this was going on.
Right.
Okay? It's a different time, a different world, a different decade.
But does it still make it right?
Nowadays? Oh, hell no.
Does it make it right back then? Because we fought a war over it.
But did they know anything better?
I think they did. Because I do think there was people in the Confederacy that didn't agree with the owning of people as property.
But that happened all over the world.
It does, yeah.
No matter what race or creed that you live in. It happened, what was it, like in different parts of the world, they had white people as slaves. Like I said, the Egyptians.
Juan said he never heard us.
You never? Oh, okay. Well, call back again, and we'll put you right on.
Yeah, I was trying to get a point across, man. I'm sorry for putting you on mute or hold.
No, it's okay. Just call back again, 813-419-3602. It doesn't matter. God, it's such a touchy subject.
It is a touchy subject. The only thing I can do is I can just use my morals, and I assume people back in the 1700s had a same moral process as I would.
I doubt it.
It might.
I doubt it.
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Where you can look at the way I view morals is well-being of people, and the owning of another person as property is not good for well-being of people.
But look at it back then.
But I mean,
okay, take a look at this. Black Plague back then.
Yeah.
Okay. People were dying left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. People were trying to compare the COVID-19 with the Black Plague. You couldn't do that.
I would compare more with the Spanish flu.
But you can't even do that either.
Well, we're more scientifically advanced now.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So back then, the medical procedures wasn't there.
Yeah,
okay.
I get
so
that.
therefore, back then, when slavery was around, which was sort of the normalcy, okay, back then, right?
Yeah.
Who's to say different?
Well, here I'm going to go further into the rabbit hole and bring up a subject that many people might get offended by, but that's what I mean. If you're offended, you're offended.
What is the rabbit hole going to?
A lot of people back then, Bible believing Christians, especially in the South. Exodus 21 tells you how to enslave your people, that you can own people as property, and it gives you the rules on how to enslave people.
Exodus 21?
Exodus 2021, I believe, in the Bible.
Which Bible?
Do King James.
King James, okay. King James, let's say King
James Version, Exodus 21. But it tells you how to enslave your people, and who you can enslave, who you can't enslave, and how you can get around the loophole of keeping your slave. Because I believe if you had like a Jewish slave, after 7 years or so, you had to let him go.
What is the? What did you say the?
Exodus 21.
Is there a verse?
Just the whole thing. Just type in Exodus 21.
Well, that's a long chapter.
No. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I think it's like it might be verse 1. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. But let's see. We got?
Hold on. Exodus 21.1, right?
It could be, yeah.
All right. It says the Hebrew name Moses sounds like the Hebrew Pharaoh's daughter named the child Moses because that doesn't sound. What?
Exodus.
You said Exodus 21, right?
21. Oh, it's 21:20-21, I think.
21.
Here we go. Yep, Exodus 21:20-21. I got it right here. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as the direct result. But if they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. So a lot of Christians back in the day fully believed in the Bible, and it's the Word of God. So they took their morals and they took their rules from the Bible, and in the Bible it says you can own people as property.
Okay, but then again, how could one say that, but then how do you sit there and predict that that's what they're basing it off of?
I could just make a prediction on it.
Yeah, but which is not really true.
Doesn't make it false either.
No. It's like 50-50.
It could be, yeah.
But then again, like I said, it's a different time back then.
Right, and more people then believe this is Old Testament. So a lot of people, we can have a whole show on this. I can definitely have a whole show on this. But just to get
Bible ideology,
yeah, just to wrap this full circle, more people nowadays will sit there and say that's an Old Testament, we're under a new covenant, even though Jesus did say we're not going to change a jot or tittle of the law, but that's another story. People back then took the Bible more literally, and they don't use that, we have a new testament, we're under a new covenant. These are the rules, and this is the rules and God's word. So, they could have taken it. I would lean towards a lot of people did justify the use of slavery because of the Bible, but that's just me. But again, as a moral agent myself, there had to be people that thought like me that sit there and say, this is not right. We can't own people as property. And, it was just, there's no reason to justify it to me personally.
Granted, no matter where you come from, right, no matter what race or creed or whatever, I don't believe in owning anybody.
Okay.
I don't believe, now corporate America, they kind of like own you anyways, if you think about it. Because if you don't work.
We're just talking about owning people.
No, but I'm just saying, if you think about the theology of that, right? If corporate America owns you, no matter where you come from, because if you don't work to pay your bills, then you get behind and they'll take everything from you. Like I've been on some jobs to where, like I used to do home inspections, right?
Yeah.
Property inspections, to where I'd have to take pictures of people's houses that were in foreclosure.
Yeah.
No matter what read or craze, but whatever. Bad neighborhood, good neighborhood. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. But still.
So they don't destroy the home?
No, they don't take the home.
No, they don't take anything.
Here's what would happen. If you get behind on your house payments, right? The bank has the obligation in your statement to say, hey, look, we can take away your home. We can physically have an officer and a rekeyer come to your house, even if you're not home, right?
Yep.
And because they'll wait till you leave, okay? And they'll rekey your house. They'll put a new lock on your house.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I was doing it, my job was to take pictures for the bank.
Okay.
I was because the banks didn't want to get off their ass to go do it.
Yeah.
So they paid me to go do it.
Yeah.
Okay. My point is that in corporate America, we're sort of in that same stigma, okay? Because if we don't pay our bills, right? So we're sort of slaves to corporate America.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because if we don't pay our bills,
you're talking about more metaphorical. I mean, they don't actually own me. If they want to take my shit, to take my shit. But
then you're not gonna have anywhere to live.
Yeah, but I'm still free. These people are sitting there.
To a sense, you're still free.
Yes, but I mean, we're talking about I own this person like I own my wallet. Like it's my wallet. It's,
I own my truck.
Right. It's and the bank still owns my car. But
you own a goddamn thing.
But owning people as property, I just can't. Is wrong. Period.
Right.
And even back then, when people say, "Oh, it's a different time" and stuff like that,
It's
in
a different
way,
time.
it was. But at the same
It's
time,
a different thought process.
You got to have people that sit there and say it's wrong because we have the Northerners that said slavery was wrong. Even though, again, institutionally, we still treated African Americans and we treated minorities as lesser people, but they shouldn't be owned as property. And that's why we had a war over it.
But what's to say they didn't have a war in different countries of the same thing?
They probably did.
With different races.
They probably did. G. Landry 25, slavery was a product of conquering around the globe. If you conquered something, you owned it. And that's just
so therefore, why
just
couldn't
the
all lives matter?
mentality.
If that what that guy just said, or a guy or whatever it is, what is it the name?
G. Landry.
G. Landry 25. Slavery was a product of all the conquering around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. If that fact is true, right, then why can't nowadays all lives matter?
All lives. Okay. All lives do matter.
But think about it.
We're going to the root cause of the issue in this country.
And this is the root cause right there.
Yeah.
What that guy just said.
But you're talking about the whole world. We're talking about a movement in the United States of America.
It's the same thing whether you're United States, Africa, Alaska, fucking Europe, fucking Saudi Arabia. It doesn't matter what country you're in.
Yes.
The same concept is the same.
Right.
This
but
guy
Saudi
just
Arabia
said,
doesn't have the issues of police brutality.
How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that they're not going to cut your hand off if you steal something?
They do that with everybody, though. They don't sit there and say just this particular sect of people.
How do you know if you go over there and you start some shit, they're not going to beat the shit out of you?
No, they probably will.
Okay, so then what's the difference?
The difference is we have this.
Is it because America is the home of the brave?
Right.
And
we're supposed
to
have these fundamentals.
But we're not free.
But we're not fully free.
Exactly. So we're a slavery to America.
Well, a lot of times we could be, like you said, a slave to corporations.
America Corporation.
The government or whatever. But that's a different subject than being owned as property.
True. But then again, we go back to the same point. All right? It's not just one thing. It's everything around the globe. This thing has hit home for every single country, every single suburb, every single city, every single neighborhood across the country.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you live in a poor neighborhood or a rich neighborhood. Okay? It still affects everybody. All right? Doesn't matter. I don't care if, back then happened back then. It was horrible. Okay? It was terrible. It never should have happened. Okay? But it was a different time back then. Different thought process. Okay? People were insanely dumb back then.
Ignorant.
Okay?
I would say ignorant.
Just like in Salem, they burnt people because they thought if they were witches because they didn't believe the same thing as what they believed in.
Yes.
Okay? So therefore, what this guy just said, slavery was a product of all the conquering around the globe.
Yes.
Okay? So therefore, going back in the full circle, why couldn't we say all lives matter around the world?
They do.
And not just one particular thing, because that's what we see 24/7.
But that's not the actual. When the message Black Lives Matter is not saying Black lives is only what matter. It's saying we've been treated so unfairly by this country for so long that we need to matter for all lives to matter. See, you're taking it as this big globalist thing where yes,
but it happens. But it happens all over the globe.
So if there's downtrodden people in Saudi Arabia, if there's downtrodden people in Cambodia, in Ireland, the UK, Pakistan, anythingistan, whatever country that they're from, if you're downtrodden, your life matters
Norway.
too. Norway-istan, Scandinavia-istan. No, your life matters as well. And, if you need to have, I don't even know, Norwegian whale blubber eater lives matter or whatever it is.
I can tell you right now with there used to be a guy that I used to know on the radio called Iceland Mike.
Yeah.
Right. And I think he was from Norway or Icelandia or what's it called? Is it Icelandia or Icelandic? Iceland. Okay.
It's probably Icelandic.
But he just from what I remember, he used to say on the radio that they didn't have this kind of problem.
They don't.
Over there. Everybody, no matter what race or creed or heritage you come from, they're all cool with each other.
Yeah.
They're all fine. They live their lives happy.
But they also have fundamental different governmental systems that we have.
Very true. But then again, it's all the same thing no matter how you piece it together.
I see your point. In theory, all lives do matter. But the message of Black Lives Matter, again, it's not saying that all lives don't matter. It's saying that systematically we have been treated as lesser since before the founding of this country, and the system and the institution needs to change. And I get the message and I understand it, and I want that to change because it needs to change.
It does need to change. It all needs to change.
Yeah.
The whole system needs to change. We need to, I think as a whole, no matter if you and I are having this discussion, right?
Yeah.
And we go back to a lot of the same topics, right?
Yeah.
The point is that in all reality, right, things need to change for the good.
Yes.
Okay? No matter what race or creed or heritage you come from, it needs to change for the good.
Yes.
We're not going to move forward in humanity if we don't make the proper changes. And again, I go back to saying on not just law enforcement, public, anything that deals with different types of races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We need to make that change as a whole, okay, in order to progress forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Take for example phones, cell phones, right? And this phone right here, this iPhone that I have,
yeah.
right, has a lot more computing power, right, than it did when Apollo 11 that went to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. This right here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This has no race, no creed, no nothing like that. But we hold this to a higher standard.
Yes.
Okay. And nowadays Americans cannot leave, or people around the world per se, cannot leave their house and I'm a victim of that too. Okay.
You gotta have your phone.
I do a lot of.
If you drive down the road and you're like, "Oh fuck, I forgot my phone," and you turn right back around.
Everybody, you do it.
Everyone
I do
does it.
That's my point. Okay, this technology has progressed, and over the last decade, further than what humans have.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what you're seeing now in social media and the news outlets, right? Whether wrong or right, that's showing what humanity has become.
Yeah.
Do you not agree?
Yeah.
Take race out of it, take creed out of it, take heritage out of it.
I said it earlier. Humans are the worst thing on this planet.
Yeah, and we're going to destroy ourselves.
And we have been doing it for years.
Exactly.
We do it over color of skin. We do it over our socioeconomic status. We do it over dick size. We do it over any petty thing.
Mine's bigger.
It might be. It might be. I don't know. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. You're a hairy-looking man. I don't want to see it.
Not that hairy.
Oh God.
But no. My point is that you're true with that statement.
Yeah.
It's humanity is destroying itself, and the only way to make a change with this situation or any situation going forward is we have to look at it at a more reasonable idea.
Yes, but people aren't reasonable.
They're not. They're not reasonable.
That's going to be the problem.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's like what Tommy Lee Jones said in Men in Black, right?
Yeah.
That we are dumb, panicky people.
We are.
And just like with the COVID thing, look how much panic ensued. Look at you.
Fuck you, man.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
No, yeah. I'm very.
Because my belief with it is totally different than what you believe.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm not saying that to be rude or insensitive.
No. I don't take it as such anyway.
I'm not saying that because, we did lose a lot of people around the world because of this, right?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm looking at it more of a relative viewpoint.
Yes.
I'm looking at more of a patient history. Okay? I'm looking at more, and we'll go into that later, but my point is that you are taking this a lot more serious.
Yes. And there's different factors into why I take it more
exactly
serious.
Because of your patient history. Going forward, that's what makes humanity panicky the way it is. Instead of looking at it, no matter what it is, at a more relative term and how to fix things, right? How to change things, we have to resort to violence, to panic, to ruining other people's lives, right? And destroying things. And that's going to be the destruction of humanity on Earth.
Yeah. The world will end when humans destroy themselves.
And it won't change unless we make the change.
That's right. We are the virus. We also need to be the change.
Exactly.
So I think we should take a short break. We got very passionate there. I was going to go into Donald Trump, but I already have heartburn, and I really can't go to the hospital tonight because he'll make my blood pressure.
Boy, he just makes you like really.
He's a fucking idiot. Long story short, he thinks that the protester is Antifa, and he was a troublemaker, and he got his news from an uncredible news source, and he's pushing a conspiracy theory. Donald Trump's a dickhead. We all know that I think that. So we're going to take a break right now.
And don't get me wrong. You love Trump.
Yeah, I love him so much. I want to
kick his ass.
Kick him in the balls. When we get back, we're going to talk about something a little bit more lighthearted, but in the same aspect, it's kind of serious. People that believe everything on the internet and they hang on to it, and why they shouldn't have social media, smartphones, or internet connections at all. We're going to be talking about the cancellation of Paw Patrol and people gripping onto that and wanting to save Chase.
What about the
dog.
Ben Shapiro thing?
Oh, we still got the Ben. Do you want to get into the Ben Shapiro thing?
That's up to you. Do you want to like? I'll have to have you look it up first and let you hear it on there.
Because we talked about that subject
a little bit.
Well, most of the show has been the Black Lives Matter movement. Yeah. He goes into it.
He does. He
probably is going to recycle everything we've been talking about.
Ben Shapiro more has sort of a reality type basis,
if you could say that.
Yeah.
But
all right.
We'll talk about it during the break, and we're already at 10:24, so we'll take a short break. We'll come back, and we'll have a couple more stories before we get out of here. Stay tuned, and thank you for listening.
If you're lost, high up in the mountain tops, I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. You can come home right now. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light in case you're searching. Tell me what you're looking for anyways. Did you find it? Are you certain? Are you certain it's the real thing? Are you sitting at your window while he's sleeping, pulling back the curtain, looking for the moon? That's me smiling at you. If you're lost, high up in the mountain tops, I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. And you can come home right now. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on. I'll leave the light on.
wish I never let you go that far away. And I know this ain't forever love, but let's talk about today. Okay, the fan base growing, but our fam growing too. If it ain't about to show 'em in the lab, where are you? Where are you? Baby, where are you? If it ain't about to show 'em in the lab, you know the studio couch all yours, right? And after that, we can drop the top and take the night. Take the night. Lay your seat back like we taking flight. Two-step to the sound of the night. With me, I ain't got long, so let's make it right, baby. Take advantage of every moment we own it. Leave the phones at home, cause we so damn. And I hope I'm right. This that song that I hope you like. This that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. And I hope I'm right. This that song that I hope you like. This that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. Everybody dancing, but I just wanna dance with you. Look. And everybody moving, but I just wanna move with you. And everybody whine, but I wanna slow wine with you. Never been to the island, I wanna take flight with you. You know I love the island, so I had to try it. I'm thinking of the day when I could finally buy it. It being whatever you point to. Walk in the store like, baby, it's all you. You the type to be like, nah, baby, I'm cool. Let's find a couple kids and put them all to school. And I'm just like, cool, but what about the shoes? You look at me and smile like, baby, that's all you. The stakes high, you know we playing for keeps. I know it gets rough when it's been a couple weeks. FaceTime in the lab, FaceTime in the road. Thank God for Steve Jobs, but FaceTime getting old. But you don't want me home cause you know the mission. You just be praying that I can keep the vision. I just be praying that I can have you with me. Late nights trying to make these prayers realistic. Faith without works and a thing, baby. I keep that in mind when I dream, baby. You my kickstand, I'm trying to lean, baby. Me without you ain't a thing, baby. And I hope I'm right. It's that song that I hope you like. It's that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. And I hope I'm right. It's that song that I hope you like. It's that song that I hope we can move to. If not, just imagine me with you. Everybody dancing, but I just wanna dance with you. And everybody moving, but I just wanna move with you. And everybody whine, but I wanna slow wine with you. Never been to the island, I wanna take flight with you, with you. Ain't worry about them, cause it's all about you. All about you, ain't worry about them, cause it's all about you. Everybody dancing, but I just wanna dance with you. Look. And everybody moving, but I just wanna move with you. And everybody whine, but I wanna slow wine with you. Never been to the island, I wanna take flight with you, with you.
I torture you. Take my hand through the flame. I torture you. I'm a slave to your games. I wanna chain you up. I wanna tie you down. I'm just a sucker for pain. I'm a sucker for pain. I got the squad tatted on me from my neck to my ankles. The pressure from the man got us all in rebellion. We gon' go to war, yeah, without failure. Do it for the fam, dog. 10 toes down, dog. Love and the loyalty, that's what we stand for. Alienated by society. All this pressure give me anxiety. Walk slow through the fire. Like who gon' try us? Feeling the world go against us. So we put the world on our shoulders. I torture you. Take my hand through the flame. I torture you. I'm a slave to your games. I wanna chain you up. I wanna tie you down. I'm just a sucker for pain.
I've been at it with my homies, it don't matter, you don't know me. I've been rolling with my team, we the illest on the scene. I've been riding around the city with my squad. I've been riding around the city with my squad. We just posted getting crazy, living like this is so amazing. Hold up, take a step back when we roll up, cause I know what. We've been loyal, we've been fan, we the ones you're trusting. Won't hesitate to go straight to your head like a concussion. I know I've been busting, no discussion for my family. No hesitation through my scope, I see my enemy. Like, what's up? Hold up, we finna reload up. Yes, I reload up, I know what up, I know what up.
I torture you, take my hand through the flame. I torture you, I'm a slave to your games. I wanna chain you up, I wanna tie you down. I'm just a sucker for pain.
Devoted to destruction, a full dosage of detrimental dysfunction. I'm dying slow, but the devil trying to rush me. See, I'm a fool for pain. I'm a dummy, might cut my head off right after I slit my throat. Tongue kiss a shark, got jealous bitches up in the boat, eating peanut butter and jellyfishes on toast. And if I get stung, I get stoked. Might choke like I chewed a chunk of charcoal. Naked in the North Pole, that's why my heart cold, full of sorrow. A lost soul, and only Lord knows when I'm coming to the crossroads. So I don't fear shit but tomorrow. And I'm a sucker for pain, it ain't nothing but pain. You just fucking complain, you ain't tough as you claim. Just stay up in your lane, just don't fuck with Lil Wayne. I'ma jump from my plane or stand in front of a train, cause I'm a sucker for pain.
Used to doing bad, now we feel like we just now getting there. Ain't got no other way, so we started and finished it. No pain, no gain. Never stand down, made our own way. Never going slow, we pick up the pace. This is what we wanted from a young age. No emotion, that's what business is. Lord have mercy on the witnesses. Take my hand through the flame. I torture you. I'm just a sucker for pain.
More pain got me begging, 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 begging. For more pain got me begging, 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 begging. For more pain got me begging, 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 begging. For more pain.
Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks, put me to your lips. I am sick, I will punch a baby bear in his shit. Give me lip, I'ma send you to the yard. Get a stick, make a switch. I can end the conversation real quick. I am crack, I ain't lying. Kick a lion in this crack, I'm the shit. I will fall off in your crib, take a shit. Hit your mama on the booty, kick your dog, fuck your bitch. That boy dressed up like he Santa and took pictures with your kids. We the best, we will cut a frowny face in your chest, little wench. I'm unmentionably fresh, I'm a mensch. Get correct, I will walk into a court while it wrecks, screaming, yes, I am guilty, motherfuckers, I am death. Hey, you wanna hear a good joke? Nobody speak, nobody get choked.
Bulls Radio Lounge. I almost said off the cuff there for a second.
Old show.
Old show. Gut Check with Belly live. A brand new show on Bulls Radio Lounge. Just go to youtube.com, search Bulls Radio Lounge. Twitch.com, search Bulls Radio Lounge. Facebook.com, just search Bulls Space Radio Lounge. Phone number 813-419-3602. I want to thank West Tampa Dance Company. They've been here at this location for over 8 years. They offer everything from tap, jazz, hip-hop, whatever you want to dance. They even got Zumba. Do that non-stop. Manny Mantos, Nicole Perez, Nicole Matos, Laney, Kat, April, Terrence, and Robert, all the instructors. Give them a call, 813-877-4444, or just come to the studio, 2741 West Columbus Drive in Tampa, Florida, 33607. Thank you so much for letting us to use your studio to do this show. I also want to thank We had 117 subscribers, and now we're up to 118 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Do not forget to please hit that subscription button when you find the show on youtube.com. Just search Bulls Radio Lounge. Hit the notification button and hit that like button. Comment all you want to on the shows, on any show that you see on there. We love your comments.
Tell me how awesome I am, please.
Yeah, tell him how awesome he is. Please let his ego rise to the occasion.
I need this.
But thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We also appreciate all the feedback that you guys are giving us. Juan Hernandez gave us the hearts. We appreciate it.
I think that was for me.
Oh, sorry. So thank you guys so much for listening. By the way, we have Chewy Rocks is the EP for the channel, right?
Yep.
And we have stickers for the Bull and the Bartender show that happens every Tuesday. And stickers are going to be coming out. I think we're going to do like $5 a piece, right? And then, but we're going to give away a couple of them as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's stickers that says Bull and the Bartender show on there, and it has like a little bull on there.
Oh, okay.
With a bunch of little, beer cans hanging out.
Cool, man.
So we're going to have that going for us. And do you have your audio on?
Yeah, I was checking the Facebook Live. There's a chat there, too.
Is there really?
Yeah.
What's going on with Facebook Live?
There's a Miss Karen Holmes. I know Miss Karen Holmes. She's a great person, great lady. I miss her dearly. Listening to the show once again, until you live in the skin, no one's who's white will ever understand what it's like to be black. You can't speak for our You can't speak on our experience. I'm just saying I agree with you 100%, Miss Karen. I'm not trying to speak for you guys at all. I'm just trying to give my opinion on my understanding of what's going on. If you do want to call in and give your opinion, or just let us know what your thoughts are.
Okay, so hold on. Let's so I just pulled up the Facebook chat.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And it says one of the Jared Landry says I don't think they are monitoring the chat here.
We weren't.
Switch to you. No, we weren't. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is a bad neighborhood? Well, a bad neighborhood could be justified for anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Elaborate.
Well, I mean, anybody can have the opinion of a bad neighborhood.
Oh yeah, you can have your opinions.
You
of
can
what
call a rich
bad
neighborhood a bad neighborhood.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
They're a bunch of dickheads. It looks
Yeah, you can call a poor neighborhood. I mean, I don't. That's just a stigma of what socialized public has put on, every neighborhood.
A stereotype.
A stereotype. They say that this section of neighborhood is bad. That section of neighborhood is bad. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's whatever you make that neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you make it good or bad. Also, so did you say listening to your show and want to get into? You just read that.
Yep.
Who was the second person watching with me?
It's probably Jared. I think Jared Landry at the time.
Do you know any of these people?
I know Miss Karen Holmes. I do know Jared Landry.
I'm sure she's a very nice person.
She's a great person, very wonderful person. I've had very good conversations.
I've never
with her.
met this person, but I'm sure she's very nice.
She's a great person.
Okay.
I love her to death.
Well, thank you, Miss Holmes. I appreciate you listening to the show and spending your time with us, listening to our rambling on about certain subjects.
Yeah.
Listen, we may not be right, okay?
No.
We may not be wrong. It's just our thoughts and opinions being broadcasted live on a radio, right, on a podcast or whatever you want to call it, right? And nobody's going to agree, okay, no matter who you are.
Well, some people might agree with what you're saying.
Well, they might. They might agree or disagree, but nobody is going to agree to a certain point, okay, because everybody's going to believe their own thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to believe their own hype, and I get it, okay? Nobody is perfect, Some person that you may see driving a $100,000 Bentley, you might hate that person because they have $20 million in the bank, or you might feel sorry for a person that's driving a lemon car that's being held up by duct tape and rope.
Been there.
But you know what? If they like living their life that way, then so be it. That's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't matter. I mean, to me, you live your life the way you want to live your life.
Yeah.
If you want to live it that way, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I think that, like with you when you're talking about your kids, right? You have a moral obligation as a parent to instruct your kids in the way that you and Mrs. Belly see fit, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody else thinks, okay? Because if somebody else tells you that you're doing or you're misleading your kids, you're going to get offended by that because those are your kids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like somebody saying, you say, no, little Johnny, you can't play with the electrical outlet because that's bad, right? And you go, no. You know what? I just taught my 5-year-old how to switch the electrical outlet, and he does it, really well. He or she does it really well. So stop fucking telling my kid what to do.
I get you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what neighborhood you come from or whatever. It's all a stigma. It's all what we've placed a name on for that particular area. Does that make sense?
I see kind of the point where you're getting at. Yeah.
Like the world has put a name on everything.
Yeah. Everything has a label.
Right.
What right, wrong, or indifferent. Everything does have a label.
So thank you, Miss Holmes, Miss Karen Holmes. I appreciate you tuning in. And, like I said, it depends on how you see whatever it is that you see.
And like I said last week, Miss Holmes, that, you're absolutely right that I wouldn't know what it's like to be in an African-American skin. I am a straight white male in the United States of America. I'm probably the most privileged, sect of people other than wealthy straight white males in the United States of America.
Well, let's just get one thing clear, right?
You're not straight?
Well, no. Well, okay, I am straight. But what I'm saying is that when you justify privilege, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There again, you're placing a stigma. Okay.
It's kind of true though.
Okay. No. It's not true. Okay,
yeah.
because no matter what creed or race or whatever you come from, right? It's the same no matter what.
In theory.
No, it is.
It's not in practice.
So what are you saying? So if you see a Spanish person that's, let's just say, is driving a lemon car.
Yeah.
And they drive it all the time. You're going to think, well, that guy doesn't really come from.
No, I'm not going to think.
No, but I'm saying that's what.
All right, let's.
Okay,
I'll
but
throw
hold
a
on.
scenario.
But hold on. Now, if that person is driving that type of car, and then let's say you go to his house, his or her house, right?
Yeah.
And you see this $100 million mansion, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's privilege?
No.
Okay, then. So
this is what.
Therefore, you can't say one person is privileged over another.
Yes, I can, because this is going to be my example for it. A lot of times I get here a little bit early.
Yeah.
And I'm out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I'm in the parking lot by myself in my car, and I don't get bugged at all.
Okay.
So let's say I was a minority in a parking lot, random parking lot, just by myself, and someone happens to take notice. There's more of a chance that they would get approached in investigatory, if that's a word, I don't even think that's a word, way than I would be.
Is that hold on, there's somebody calling.
Okay.
Let me see who's calling. Hold on. Oh, geez.
What the hell are we listening to?
What the hell's
Oh,
going
G
on?
Landry 25. Will the stickers be scratch and sniff? If you have a scent request like my armpit or asshole, let me know, and we'll get that to work for you.
That's not a bad idea.
Really?
Hold on, let me go back.
That's a horrible idea.
I don't know who called, but
damn it, Bull, pick up the phone.
Well, I'm trying to do fucking things back here.
Killing me, bro.
Whoever called, please call back again. Please, I want to hear from you.
Sorry,
Call
Juan.
back again. Sorry, listen, I'm doing 1,001 different things
Sorry,
back
man.
here while trying to help get this show going.
Sorry, man.
While working on batteries, while working on trying to get this, all this stuff going and stuff like that. So
the wheels are coming off, man.
It is. So we're going back to saying Paw Patrol.
Yes.
All right, now I know what Paw Patrol is.
Yes.
Okay. I've seen Paw Patrol many
If you
times.
have kids, you probably know what Paw Patrol.
Even if you don't have kids, you know what Paw Patrol
Yeah,
is.
you probably
Okay.
see them like
You see 'em
Valentine's
in-
Day things, or
Yeah.
you buy your nephew or niece a gift.
See
or
them
something.
everywhere. You know what if you're any normal person that flips to the channel, you probably know what Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that because sometimes nowadays these kids don't even know what fucking Back to the Future is.
My little one, we just had a marathon a little bit ago and enjoyed it immensely.
The Back to the Future
Oh,
marathon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
All right, so what is the deal with Paw Patrol?
Okay. So, this whole defund police
Yes.
thing that's been going on and everything. So, we know Twitter trolls. We know social media trolls.
Yeah.
They started going after Paw Patrol. Defund Chase the police dog. Defund Paw Patrol. All these different tweets out there about Paw Patrol.
Okay.
So this caught steam in the news media,
Uh-huh.
mostly conservative news outlets and right-leaning people, to where it's a moral outrage, and why would the left want to do this to kids and get rid of Paw Patrol and get it canceled, and part of the cancel culture of 2020 and the new woke generation or whatever. So I think we do have a link from Fox News where they talk about it a little bit. We're not going to go through the whole thing. It's just I watched it a couple times because I was laughing my ass off at their talking points so much. So
if it plays.
If it plays, it's damn Fox News.
God damn it. They always stop when I'm trying to play a story. But I don't know why. So Paw Patrol basically it's a story based on, for kids, right?
TV cancellations and controversy following the death of George Floyd. A&E canceling Live PD, its flagship series, and one of cable's highest rated shows 1 week after it was yanked off the air. This a day after the plug was pulled on Cops, ending its 32-year run. And even kids' cartoons are not immune. Take Nickelodeon's Paw Patrol, which features Chase, a German Shepherd police dog. The show's official Twitter page on the receiving end of a torrent of criticism, even after showing solidarity with protesters. Among the responses, how much will Paw Patrol be donating to bail funds, defund Paw Patrol, fire and prosecute Chase, and euthanize the police dog?
Are you fucking kidding
So
me?
if you're going through Twitter,
This is why I hate social media.
But if you read those tweets, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think those people are actually being serious, or do you think they're trying to get rises out of people?
I think most of them are being serious.
You think most of them are being serious?
And
See, I think the total opposite.
In my career in radio, right, which I'll tell you the truth. One time we were broadcasting for the 4-hour show, right?
Okay.
And with that show, it's very heavily on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. So we were in the middle of like the 3-hour mark, right? And the big storm came by. I think it was like Fort Myers or something like that. And we lost the Fort Myers station because the lightning hit the antenna, right? The big, powerful 120 watt antenna, right? So then we start getting a flood of calls. So we check, in the bullpen, we check the computers and make sure it's not running something else or whatever the case may be, right? So we figured out, and we called the station down there, and it was lightning hit the antenna. Well, we get calls saying, what's going on? Why aren't you playing this show? What's going on? Blasting us on Twitter, blasting us on Facebook. And then one guy calls up and he goes, so how can I help you fix it? They're like, well, what are you going to do? He goes, well, I'm an engineer. I can help you fix it. So you're going to climb a 300-foot tower and go fix an antenna that's broadcasting 120 watts of electricity to do this. Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, you dumbass. You just wanted a controversy on the radio.
Right.
And that's what it is.
They just want controversy.
It's people that want to sit there and do something like this because they're trolls.
Trolling.
Yeah.
So they're not being serious, though. They're not
most of them
really
are.
wanting.
Most of them are, yes.
So you think there's people that are sitting there, fuck this police dog.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure. I'll give you that there's some people.
Yes.
But
in my career,
I would
yes.
say most of the people know that it's a show about these animals helping others in situations, and they're not being serious.
Let's just say more normal people know that.
Okay.
Okay. When you get the really, oh my God, we got to cancel everything under the sun. Okay.
We do have a cancel culture, which I don't agree with.
Because they want to cancel. They want to shut down. What is it? It's a Small World.
I just hate that ride.
Oh, what's that?
I just hate that ride. I hate that song. I hate that ride.
But they want to shut that down because the fact that it's not the cultures are not represented equally around the ride.
Okay.
It's a fucking 100-year-old ride that has small animatronics that have costumes from different worlds.
Yeah.
Or
You're
different
always
countries.
going to have those people.
It's like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Okay. People that take really big deals over entertainment stuff, i.e. movies, shows, stuff like that. They are shows. They are meant to be entertainment.
Yes.
Okay? Don't take it seriously.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Don't
Okay.
take this seriously. Why is this on the news? And there's a 5-10 minute segment of the news of people on Twitter saying, defund Paw Patrol, cancel this dog.
What are you going to do? You going to defund the cartoon animal? You going to make him lose his job?
But my point is...
A dog that goes woof?
My point is, Fox News, that, it was in the New York Times and other outlets too, but they talk to a specific group of people. And this group of people hangs on everything that this station says. And then they're going to take the outrage from this and they're going to pass it on as truth. And my whole timeline last week was, they're getting rid of Paw Patrol, the left, the liberals, the Democrats, they want to cancel everything. It's a police dog, it's bullshit.
It's a cartoon animal.
It's no one's trying to do it seriously. They're trolling you. Put your smartphone away. You do not deserve it. You don't deserve a 5G connection. You don't deserve the internet. Go back to stone tablets if you think that this is serious.
Speaking of 5G, did you see the thing?
I saw the pictures.
What the hell are those?
I think there's a cell phone tower. Like there's the bounce signals. I don't know because I looked it up and they have them in like Charlotte too, and that's what they're building them for. But they look kind of different.
They look really weird.
Go on our Facebook page, our Bulls Radio Lounge. Bull took some pictures around town. If you know what they are, leave a comment there.
Yeah.
So
sorry, not to get off topic.
Bull is king of conspiracy.
Yeah, listen, I have no problem with it. I don't care for the government. I think the government is not your friend, right? I think the government is out to get what the government wants, and there's proof about that.
Well, yeah, because they're humans, and humans are
no, because they want listen, the government's going to get what they want no matter what.
That's true.
Okay. If you think the government is your friend, then you need to go have an MRI scan.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're not your friend. They're not going to sit there support you. They're not going to sit there and defend you. Okay. They're not going to sit there and say, little Johnny, you can go do this. No. If you're a threat, they're going to get rid of you.
I hear.
Without a doubt. Okay. If we can conceal in the middle of a desert, Area 51, right? We can conceal all that stuff out there, and you even step over that line where there's no fence, no markers, no nothing, and you get shot. Come on.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Just like when those people went out for those, 100,000 people that went out there, right?
Yeah. That big thing that was supposed to happen. Nothing came of that, right?
They went out there, but they didn't really.
I heard there was going to be this big thing.
But they weren't going to.
But the whole point of it's not. I wasn't bringing up Paw Patrol. I'm bringing up people falling for every little thing on the internet, and they need to know how to vet their information and see when something's serious and when something's not, and not just hang on to every little thing.
But again, it's a kid's cartoon.
It is. It is a kid's cartoon.
It's like what was it? What was that one? The Easter Bunny one, the movie where the guy was like allergic to blueberries.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was a movie that came out a couple years ago, right?
Okay.
And Peter Rabbit.
Okay.
That's what it's called,
All
right? And so the rabbit in one of the scenes, right, threw blueberries in the guy's mouth. Now, mind you, the rabbit is a CGI rabbit.
Yeah.
A CGI, a computer-generated image.
Yes.
Okay? Threw blueberries in a guy's mouth.
Right.
In an actor's mouth, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was allergic to blueberries, right? Well, people wanted to have a petition to get that scene removed because it's like offensive to people who have allergies to blueberries.
This is why certain people should not have smartphones or the internet. Shit like this. We have so many serious things
to worry about
and that need fixing, that they're worried about people trolling about blueberries on a CGI movie. They're worried about cartoon dog.
I could see if they want to protest against Fast and Furious, the ride at Universal, right?
Because of what happened with...
No, because it sucks.
Oh, okay.
All it is just a big AC air conditioning ride.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I got you.
Protest against that.
Speaking of sucky rides, Jared Landry, let's be honest, would anyone miss that ride talking about It's a Small World? It's a good for... Well, I haven't been to Disney in years.
It's good for kids.
Yeah, it's good for kids, and it's good for the adults that have been walking around in 95-degree heat to sit down for a good 15 minutes.
But then again, it's a ride.
Yeah.
It's a ride.
I don't care for the ride.
You don't throw a fit about a blue monkey avatar that's in the middle of the queue line.
Yeah.
You don't throw a fit about that. Oh, but it's a CGI character.
Yeah. Everyone's just gonna get mad about something, and they fall for these troll traps, and you let the trolls win. This thing became such a huge deal. The trolls won, and you're the loser in this situation.
Yeah, and I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it to where trolls have sat there. We were doing an event one day, right? And we're just going to go out there and like bring the vehicle out there, right? The cream machine out there, and serve out beer to the listeners and stuff like that. Well, the trolls got a hold of the spot we were going to do it at, right? And called up the president of the company and got the whole thing shut down.
Yeah. Just people want to ruin stuff, and people want to just bitch and complain.
Mm-hmm.
And when a big news station or a news outlet picks up on it and has this vast audience that hang on to every word, you're just doing them a disservice and making them look dumb as shit.
Yeah.
When they go on their own social medias and they start bitching about something that trolls started that isn't even true.
And just think of it this way: it's just entertainment.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's no matter how you think about it. Now, mind you, some things might be questionable. Okay, like for example, what is it called? That whatever Unchained from Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, Django Unchained.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, to me, some of the subject or language matter was a little bit.
It was a little much.
A little much. I could have contested that, but am I going to sit there, and go, oh my God, we should have protest and have petitions put out? No, because I know it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's a period piece.
Yeah.
Did it go overboard? It might have went a little bit overboard, but it's also a Quentin Tarantino movie. So knowing his name's
Quentin
behind
Tarantino
it,
knows what he's doing,
and you should know what's coming.
I mean, all those actors, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what they were doing when they signed into this project. It was nothing new to them.
Yeah.
Titanic got blasted for not portraying the real events that happened with the gym that was on there. Well, guess what? If they did the whole thing like that, it would be a 3-hour documentary, and that's it, and nobody would see it.
Right.
And it wouldn't make $600 million in the box office. It would make like probably a quarter of that.
Right.
And that's the thing that people don't understand is that you guys have got to stop taking things so fucking seriously.
Yeah, everyone takes everything seriously.
Especially entertainment. This show is based upon pros and cons, right? Opinions upon opinions, right? Like I said, we might be wrong, we might be right. But you know what? We're two guys sitting down, enjoying a Sunday, enjoying our company, having a good time, laughs, talking about sensitive subjects. Because I agree, we need to talk about sensitive subjects.
Yes.
We have to, okay? This is, and I hate to pronounce your best friend in the world, but in order to make America great again, right? We have to sit down and talk about this stuff.
Yes.
We have to get this put aside. Everything that we talked about in the last 2 hours and 20 minutes, right, all stems of sitting down peacefully, talking about the issues at hand.
Right.
Whether it be wrong, whether it be right, you got to talk about it. And you can't sit there and be sensitive about it. Because if you're sensitive about it, nothing's going to happen.
Right. You're just going to get offended.
You're just going to offend it, and then shit's going to happen. Things are going to burn down. And all chaos is going to ensue again. And that's why the whole point is like with these protests, if they were just sitting down, peaceful protests, right, and not burning things to the ground, not killing people, right, not sitting there and doing all the stuff that you've been seeing in social media, in the news outlets, all that stuff, right, and just saying, hey, look, I guarantee you, if they would have sat down and said, you know what, because of the situation, let's figure out how we can change in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, none of this stuff would have happened. None of this stuff would have happened in the backlash of all this.
Yeah.
Because one man decided to sit there, and that's what it all stems from. One guy decided to sit there and choose a fate of another person, right? And it was blasted all over social media. Okay? It was blasted all over the news media. All right? If we would have sat there and said, you know what? Let's make a change. Let's have 10 days to sit down and say, this is what needs to happen. And you know what? We probably wouldn't have had all these protests. We probably wouldn't have had people dying in the streets from people killing people. We wouldn't have that semi-truck that wanted to run through all those protesters.
Yeah.
Okay? That's where the problem is. We panic and we panic and we panic, and we feel that we have to take over the world. Instead of looking at it at a more realistic view and saying, this is what we need to make a change, then we're not going to go anywhere.
I hear you.
And we're going to die out like dinosaurs.
I hear you, man.
Sometimes I think that the asteroid should hit us. Maybe that will help us.
You know, one just passed. It was like 3 million miles.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
With the 3 million miles, right?
3 million miles from us. And it was like
the size of Texas,
yeah,
wasn't
it?
it?
Was pretty wide, man.
You imagine something like that hitting the
It
Earth?
would be an extinction level event.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
But you can't. I mean, the only people that are probably safe are the people in the space station.
Yep.
But they only got a certain.
We'd
amount
have like a nuclear winter or whatever it was.
Well, they only have like a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know, man. It's a crazy world.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world that we. Do you want to talk about Ben Shapiro? No.
We're running a little late. Maybe we
are running a little late.
We'll see what it's going to be 2 weeks before we come back. Again, next week is Father's Day, so we're not going to be in studio. And Bull's out of town.
Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Happy
all the
Father's Day
Day
to
out
all the
there.
daddies out there.
Yeah. Enjoy your family. Enjoy what you have, especially at these times.
Yes.
Invest
the time in your kids. Look and your spouse. Look at them every day. Hug them. Say you love them. We want to thank you for being here. Racism and hate, they're viruses too.
Yeah.
We're the change. Love's the change. We need to have these hard conversations with each other.
And don't be wrong, we're not going to have like these conversations every Sunday.
No, not every Sunday. It's
Yeah.
not going to be like this. We're going to have different topics. This is just the way it is now with everything closed down. These are the stories of the day, and they're important subjects to have conversations about. But we will have different lighthearted subjects.
Yeah.
Try to bring some funny stuff here too. We do appreciate you for listening. We want you to come back in 14 days, June 28th. It's Belly's birthday. On our show
wow,
back.
yeah. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday.
Early birthday. So
Yeah.
give us a shout. Wish me a happy birthday on air. I'm all about it if you want to do that. We'll see you on June 28th. Thank you for listening to Gut Check with Belly Live. Bull, anything to say?
Thank you, my friend, for doing it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for all the stuff that you've done. Your prep is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I appreciate all your thoughts. This is your show.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you taking the steam with this.
I appreciate you inviting me to have this show.
No, it's all about you, kid.
Thanks, man. I
It's all on
appreciate
your
it.
shoulders. So whatever happens, it's on you.
All right. Thanks, dickhead. And thank you to everyone that listens live and listens throughout the week and shares the post and
Yes.
likes and subscribes. Like and subscribe Bull Radio Lounge on YouTube.com. I appreciate you more than I can actually say. Love you guys, and we'll see you June 28th, 8:30, Bulls Radio Lounge, YouTube, Facebook Live, and
All
Twitch.
that. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
All right. We'll see you next 2 weeks from now.
See you, man. June
On his
28th.
birthday. All right. Bulls Radio Lounge, Bull and the Bartender Show on Tuesday. We're going to be live, hopefully, if I can get the system to work again. Thank you for Belly for getting this thing going.
You're welcome.
All right. So we'll see you on 2 weeks from now. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. And happy Father's Day for next week. Peace out.
Just give me one more time.